All right, everybody, I wanted to begin going through the practice test and giving you some decent solutions to this whole thing. So I had actually mentioned this in class, but one thing I want to get really clear on is when we're doing these when we're doing these problems where we have graphs with no numbers and I ask you to compare graphs, there's three things you need to look at. You need to look at the slopes and compare them. You need to look at the sine of the slope, and you need to look at the y-intercept. And then you need to write those three things up using physics. So here's what I mean. When I say compare the slopes, object 2 has a steeper slope than object 1. So what does this tell us? First, it tells us object 2 moves faster. Both objects have positive signed slopes, which means both move forwards. And then when we look at the y-intercept, they start at the same point. And that's it. Now we said object 2 is moving faster, so what that means is that its speed looks like this. It's faster. And object 1 is going slower, but also at a steady pace. So it needs to both have a flat shaped line that indicates a steady, non-changing, constant speed. But object 2 is going faster. Now, for problem number 2, we're going to do a similar comparison. So comparing the slopes. So object 2 and 1, they travel at the same speed. Both move forward. However, object 2, and be careful, starts further ahead. I'm going to make a note here, and I'm going to write this in a different color. If you say higher up, I take off points, because that makes me think that you're actually thinking of these as hills that we're traveling over. All of this relates to that buggy lab that we did before. And when we sketch the velocity graph, this is the thing. 1 and 2 move at the same speed. So a lot of people did this, and I loved it. Object 1 and 2, one line for each object. So that's page 1 of the practice exam.